subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Nupur Tiwari Show. Let's talk business. And today we have very special guest, and he is the CEO of Daikin India, Mr. Kanwaljit Jawa. Mr. Jawa, welcome to the Nupur Tiwari Show.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Nupur. Tell me what is that I can do for you, please.
Sir, you can do a lot of things, not only for me, for entire nation, for entire Indian community, I would say. That, sir, Daikin is a big hit in India, actually.
Yeah.
And after after Suzuki, there is something big is doing, that is Daikin is doing, definitely. And what is the USP? And you are the man behind it. And we all are so proud of you. You're the man behind this success. So what is the USP of Daikin's success in India?
No, ma'am, it is like this. No individual can actually be the hero of this kind of a success. You are aware that, how strong Japanese companies are on the processes. And Daikin, I respect a lot because Daikin is a process to be the leaders world over. They are number one in Europe, they are number one in China, they are number one in Asia, and now they are number one in the US also. It's just that in 2009, 2010, they decided that if they have to become world's number one, they can't afford not to be number one in India. So it was a very well-planned strategy from their point of view that, to use those processes, to use that innovation, use the systems, and also encash on the brand heritage, what they have created in the world. So I think it is a combination of products, system, processes, brand, and the trust which they give on the skill enhancement and the diversity management. So I think, and along with that was people. And I can tell you with a lot of pride that, this Japanese DNA with Indian kind of the manpower, this is the success factor, one of the critical success factor. Although you are also aware that, last year we faced numerous challenges on account of spread of coronavirus variant. The product supply issues were there. There were fractured sales and distribution. There was global shortage of components and cost increases. But still, I would say that because of the strong heritage, because of the strong parentage, because they were operating not only in Japan and worldwide, I think they could use all that to their advantage, and still our sales kept on growing. Our refrigeration business went up, our new air handling business went up, the service was a sustainability. So there are many factors for the success of organization. It cannot be just one. So I attribute all that. Individually you can break barrier, and collectively you can create a new horizon. So combination of these factors have taken this critical success factor.
Wonderfully you
I
described it.
happen to be a part of that, so I'm fortunate about it.
No, you are it's just when someone is the head of the family, that head of the family has to be very strong, and that has to take care of the entire family very well. Then they know everybody is going to work well. Everything is going to work well. I think you have to take credit here, for whatever the success Daikin is having in India. You have to take credit. That is, you are very modest, I would say.
Well, I'm being very humbled and honored that, our Daikin global leadership is very people-centered management, and also they have this, the strategy to stay one step ahead on in everything what they do. So I've been getting support on all these factors what I talked about. So that's how. And we also make plans which are through our global managers meet, which we actually download to India managers, and then work closely on those themes. And the themes were very clear that, okay, continue expansion of sales and distribution for steady growth, independent of what is happening on the economy front. But I think here in India, this year, or I would say last couple of years, even on economy front also, India has been in the limelight. If you see, the world is going through turbulence. And India GDP is still growing more than 6%, the fastest growing economy.
Exactly.
So I happen to be at the right time with the right company. I happen to be. So, I give this credit to the global leadership. At the same time, the DNA has been very, very strong of the corporation. And we have been executing those strategies. And the strategy is that not only make in India now, even using India as an export dominance across Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Middle East, Bhutan. These are all new emerging markets. And we are making our foundations in these markets. We are also expanding our refrigeration business footprint by accelerating the sales network, development, and refrigeration proposal to the customer, including the cold chain. We have also entered into air purification, by launching our air purifier. And of course, also in a country like India, which is becoming the most populous, the service becomes very, very important. If you need to retain your existing customer, if you are able to retain your existing customer, they actually get you a repeat customer. And if you are having service as a differentiator, or service is a lifetime engagement. So we always keep connect with customers by expanding on the solutions, connectivity. We have 4.5 million customers in our annual maintenance contract, which are connected all the time with us for preventive maintenance to even the post warranty, and also then the service contract. So one, the major production base growth, manufacturing. Now we have 3 factories in India. Then expand domestic sales and exports, and reinforcement, development, and production structure. So if you see, we created very, very strong physicals. Not only the manufacturing base, also air conditioning development center, which is we call it our training center, which is skill enhancement at all levels. Then we were doing continuous investment on research and development to stay ahead of the industry and launch product ahead of the time and breakthrough technologies. If you recently, you may have observed that, we got from the National Energy Conservation Award, which was presented by the President, Mrs. Murmur, at Vigyan Bhavan. So we produce one of the highest energy efficient air conditioner in India. So be the social change agent through the effective utilization of our training centers. We have women diversity. We have a training center, which we call it as Daikin, Japanese Institute of Manufacturing Excellence. There were only 3 units which were, inaugurated, or at the time of putting the foundation stone by the Japanese Prime Minister and Indian Prime Minister, along with Toyota and Suzuki. Daikin has been one of the participants in that program. So these are the things that through thought leadership, launching HVAC technology that nurture the environment and also protect the climate. So when we are growing in length and breadth, a key focus for us has been, again, continue giving latest state-of-the-art products, enhancing people's skill, using service as an advantage, and utilize your marketing and communication tools through digital media, through all the medias which are available. Because Japanese philosophy has been that keeping silent, and they show their supremacy. But in place like India, when you have Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we show by actively getting involved with Indian green buildings, with DPIT, Invest India, with JETRO, with JICA, with RAMA, with various industry associations, including Ministry of Power, etc., etc. So our
Yeah.
journey has been a good journey, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that on your face. You work so hard, but still I can see so much happiness. There's not, you are not, definitely not tired. You are happy, even working. So, it shows like so productive you are. Happily
I think
productive.
once you, I think once you start loving your brand and once you start loving your company, I think that is the biggest happiness which I derive. And when you also see the success, I mean, if you look at last 13 years, we have grown really 19 times. So
True. Very true. Exactly. So here's my question is, as you know, the Japanese companies, they used to always keep the top of the, their company CEO or MD, always the Japanese. They used to trust. That is actually, we used to believe that Japanese only trust Japanese. So do you think these things have changed and they just like you are there, they're totally, you are managing everything entire India. So it is like things have changed, their mindset have changed, and they're just ready to accept that yes, we have to accept non-Japanese as well. What is your view on that?
no, it's a very good question. I think I told you that, my impression from day one has been that,
Hmm.
they have been trusting me a lot. Their vision was very clear. I was very fortunate, uh, or I am very fortunate to have leaders like Mr. Nakano, Mr. Mineno, Mr. Tagawa, or Mr. Inoue. I mean, without trust, you cannot operate, right?
True. True.
And one, they had a very clear vision that yes, we have to be in top three in the room air conditioner business. And that was the task. Once the task was given to me by my erstwhile boss, Mr. Nakano, I
Hmm.
mean, the then onwards, I didn't see any gap as far as trust is concerned. I mean, so I can't comment that whether they trust or they don't trust, but they trust me fully. Not only me and my team. And I also work as per the guidelines, which are corporate guidelines. The
Hmm.
eventually objective is that, to take care of their the respect for people-centered philosophies. Also, the brand image these days, is this connectivity has shortened distances. So you cannot, if you are a custodian of the brand, I mean, you can't afford not to take care of the customers or not to take care of the brand. So the understanding
Exactly.
is very clear, and the basic policies are, if you don't deviate, I think they are the best people. I have worked with Americans, I have worked with Koreans as a supplier to them because in my earlier Tata companies, and I think this is all how you do what you do. Of course,
Hmm.
you need to follow those good practices. What
Hmm.
are their global practices? The hard work, there is no replica. The honesty, you don't have a choice. And at the same time, humbleness and humility. Your
Hmm.
head should never go above your shoulders. So
Hmm.
I think, and if you operate with heart, I see a lot of similarities in their culture and our culture. Japanese
Lot
have
of.
a lot of respect for elders,
True.
and Japanese also have a lot of respect for people. So as Indian. So I think me
Yes.
and my team is very closely working with those. And
Hmm.
the success is the Jugalbandi, which we call it in Hindi. You are
Yes.
from India, you may be. And
Yes,
success
I
is
do.
collaborative effort. Success is, it's not that you are superior or I am inferior. It is a collective effort. What you do
Hmm.
gives you success. And
Hmm.
at one point of time, I used to think, frankly, that, before I joined, I thought that maybe Japanese think too much and strategize too much and execution is less, 80% planning and 20% execution. Whereas when I actually explained to them or top management that, look at your competition. I mean, the Koreans is probably 80% execution and 20% planning. And Indians, you are aware, last time you and me met at Sharat's place, Indian is
Yes.
more of a jugaad technology. So even the Daikoku and all also were talking about jugaad technology. So, but it is not that all the time jugaad.
True.
Indians are surely, if you get respect, if you align with the philosophy of Indian management, I think they are willing to give their blood and sweat to you. So it's a both ways trust on each other. I trust them a
Exactly.
lot. They trust me a lot, and that autonomy was never an issue. And one of the major success factor has been that I still have more than 30 Japanese who are working with me here in India, and more so, I'm governed by the Japanese company's philosophy, for which I have a lot of respect, and I myself have learned a lot. And I also must tell you that they also have changed their style. I mean,
Hmm.
the speed in deciding and speed in doing, and
Hmm.
probably because here the competition phase is different. It is
Totally.
in Japan you don't have many multinationals, but in
No.
India you fight with Chinese, you fight with Koreans, and you fight with giants, Indian giants, who have been here
Hmm.
for 100 years, in particularly in our business. So I
Hmm.
think they are also very smart in understanding that India today offers a limitless opportunity. So they also changed quite a
Hmm.
bit to the
Hmm.
requirement of India. So while we have a lot of Japanese people, but
Hmm.
they also have respect for Indian culture,
Hmm.
Indian channel, and Indian values. And Indian values, some of the ethos are very strong, which we are proud of.
Totally, totally. And we have very similarities, as you said, yeah, some ethos also. We have very similar ethos also. And what kind of they
I don't
also
know whether
believe.
I should consider you Japanese or whether I should consider you Indian. So, which part of you are coming from? But definitely, I can tell you that you have very. I mean, Indians also have very strong ethos, the value systems.
Yes. So now people say I look like Japanese. So it's
Yeah,
kind of but I'm an Indian, definitely. But I'm
yeah,
I'm very fortunate that two countries. I'm from India. I'm in Japan, and so much similarities are there. So much to learn. And if we, as you rightly said, that I feel that India, though it is a business we are talking about, but everything has spirituality. When you do from your heart, that is spiritual actually. So Indian
yes.
spirituality, Japanese productivity. If we combine, I think the biggest bomb we can, productive bomb, and that is what
That's
you are
why I
doing.
said. That's why I said the Japanese DNA and Indian way of execution.
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
Indian customers understand the psyche of the customer, what customer wants. And the situation sometimes gets tough. It is not that all the time you, but that's why you are there. I mean, the challenges you are expected to convert into an opportunity. We have had
Exactly.
many issues. Last one was COVID, which we before that
Yes.
also, if you look at, I joined in 2010. I mean, the first year itself, there was tsunami. Then next
Yes.
year,
2000,
Thailand
yes,
flood.
11
And
March.
then we had a lot of problems. But I think the learning from Japanese is that resilience. So I
Hmm.
was not scared even in COVID. I was not afraid. I was thoughtful though, but I knew that we will come out, and we came out more strongly in this crisis also. In 2014, 2015, we had a big fire in our factory. All my just before the season, everything was burnt out. But the resilience which they displayed at that time has lot of learnings for me personally and professionally. You see, when during tsunami we shipped products from Thailand, from Malaysia, so we had that learning, past learnings, and they are very supportive.
Hmm.
Particularly, in the time of COVID, the kind of support which we got, you know, uh, there was a big challenge. The trainees who were there in my gym. I mean, those girls couldn't go back to their hometowns. You had to arrange food there. You had to arrange their how do you take care of all those things during COVID period? But I
True.
think the kind of experiences which Japan has, or maybe they have seen much more than us. Oxygen concentrators were sent. There
Hmm.
was the dealers, because they felt at that time that the important thing is to take care of society. Important thing is to take care of the people, and it's not all the time business. But I think they their whole approach towards people is when the lockdown got over. all those women, I mean, were standing at the gate. Though MHA had not issued instruction, but they wanted to pay back. That's how the loyalty has been built in Japan, and that is what we are trying to teach here in India, the Japanese DNA, which is very, very strong.
Very, very strong. You're rightly. I think in these years, I think you have totally, could understand their DNA. Yeah, totally. What you said, very rightly you said. And
And
actually,
also, they don't live on their past laurels. They keep changing the goalpost the moment
moving
they achieve.
on.
I have seen this company moving from 6 billion to 27 billion, $28 billion company from 2006. So you can imagine that today in India also. I'm glad that you are talking about this. But yes, now many people say that Suzuki has become the car of every Indian honest, and that was what our philosophy was. We wanted to replicate that. And air conditioner, if you ask, Daikin has become the first choice. Common man. So I think in this battlefield when we have conquered, it was the great vision of Chairman Inouye when he told that we should not stand still. We should fight every day. The Tagawa-san president says that we have to stay one step ahead of competition. Our Moreno-san is like a samurai. I mean, conquering not only at one location, going into Oceania. And before that, very clear laid down project report was given by Mr. Nakano, who knew India probably more than I knew, living here for many, many years. So I think it is a complete philosophy that of very strong DNA.
Exactly.
And that DNA is people-centered management. I always believe that employees are the heart and soul of organization. And so as my Japanese counterparts there or my big leaders, for employees to flourish, there should be seamless transition and through information sharing, through flat communication. So I have a lot of Japanese colleagues here, my R&D chief, because we don't change the basic design. We don't change the basic DNA. I have my own. My best decision was my deputy MD, who's a bridge person for me. So it's like you have manufacturing experts, you have engineering experts where you need their support, and I call on each one of them to maintain a strong DNA to help me in creating those good practices and replicating that into Indian context for the requirement of Indian customers.
Exactly.
It's not only the upgraded. What you need in India is the appropriate product with a good, because Indian does not look at cheap products, but Indian looks at value for money. You cannot sell Ferrari also at a Ferrari price. I always keep saying that, you need to go closer to Suzuki, So when you are giving value for money, it has to be what customer wants at what price point he wants. You can still have a product, which is state of the art. People, those who thought they had everything, but you also have a product which should cater to the masses, like what Suzuki did. I admire Suzuki, policies very much. So I'm grateful that, and what is that we learned from people like the top leaders of Suzuki? They had trust, they had a very clear vision. So I saw a similarity in in our president and our chairman.
Great.
Without vision, without clear vision, without clear total trust, very difficult to get this kind of success.
Right. But sir, actually, here is my question is like I was talking to Jetro Chief Suzuki-san. Again, Suzuki is coming. So Suzuki-san, that, China, definitely, China is very successful getting the Japanese businesses, from many years, but we are not very close to that yet. We have only maybe 1,500 Japanese companies, and most of them are big companies, not very MSME are there. And China is almost 16,000, 10 times than us. So how, people like you are an inspiration. The today's young generation will look up to you and learn and bring, be like you and bring more Japanese companies. Like how it is possible? I think it will take a little bit more effort to bring more Japanese companies in. What is your view on that?
You see, you started with that, trust and partnership and relationship. I think the things are changing, and things are changing faster than what I thought of. Surely and certainly, China created that environment for many, many years. But I would say that it is blessing in disguise. I think the COVID has actually created an advantage in India.
True.
And at the same time, you have a visionary, prime minister here now, and also visionary prime minister, Mr. Shinzo Abe. And then, whatever Shinzo Abe was talking to Mr. Modi, both of them have a very, very strong, relationship. The countries, I'm saying. So things are changing, and things are changing much faster than you just see. 3 months back, we had a CII delegation with Japan. Last month we had a delegation from FICCI with again the DPIT secretary and all. And next month in June, again the SOCM delegation is going. What are they trying to do? With the new initiatives which are being taken, the world is looking at India as China +1 manufacturing base. I totally agree that, for many, many years, Japan did not see India as an option. But today, more and more polarization is taking place. US has gone in their own strides. And if you import from China today to US, I think you have to pay 35% or 25% extra duty. So even all the advanced countries are discouraging China, if you look at. And India is the best option. So in this COVID period, I think the way things moved, I'm quite hopeful that, things will be totally different from 2 to 3 years from now. If you take the focus was 5 mighty countries. The antipathy was against China and the 5 mighty countries. And all those 5 mighty countries now are over. India is left out, the Bangladesh, the Philippines, the Malaysia, so I think Vietnam, but now India is getting focus because you had challenges of different nature. So I feel that this is the best time because when you have turbulence in US, when you have Europe, China, energy crisis, when you have China GDP lowest, I think India is a treasure. And both sides can get a lot of advantage because you have seen Kishida-san himself traveling twice in the last 1 year. Modi-san also traveling there. So they believe that sabka saath, sabka vikas, collaborative efforts, the Jugal Bandi. You need me and I need you. So togetherness is going to be the success. We can only win together. So I think now that has been understood. Such an annual function was going on where the health minister is talking the same thing. The so-called our home minister is talking the same thing. Commerce minister is talking the same thing. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. And I think at this point of time, the two countries are enjoying that partnership relationship of trust and integrity.
So mile sur mera tumhara.
Yes, that's right.
फिर बने सुर हमारा.
या और साथ में ये भी है ना कि यही समय है, सही समय है, अभी आप देखिए वो आगे प्राइम मिनिस्टर आपके गोलगप्पा खा रहे हैं यहाँ पे स्ट्रीट फूड कैसे. Yeah, this kind of bilateral relationship has never been there. This is
never.
So
it's a golden diplomacy.
Golden era has just started. Yeah. This is the decade of manufacturing for India where very clear that made for each other.
Exactly.
वो आपका बड़ा clear है philosophy that you need me and I need you type. So आप दोनों side से एक दूसरे को जरूरत है and they can show what the path of peace. I mean, the way they are working together. God bless.
Exactly. So Golgappa has become now a part of diplomacy also. I think everywhere it's going to be used from now on.
So it's not a question of Golgappa, but if you see 92, 93 में हम लोग जापान में जाते थे, आपको ढूंढने पड़ते थे लोग, आपको कॉन्फ्रेंस में एड्रेस करने के लिए हमको ढूंढने पड़ते थे. अभी देखो जब अभी मोदी सन गए हैं, कैसे बाहर इंपीरियल होटल के बाहर लाइन लगा हुआ था. It was difficult to get tickets for the CEOs. I was there in Imperial Hotel when we were talking about this, that, how
the
do
last
you
time
use
Modi ji's visit.
Japan brain और India brawn को कैसे हम अफ्रीका लेके जाएं. I mean, 700 tickets were there. Imperial Hotel was full. आपको सीट नहीं मिल रहा था लोगों को. I was, of course, on the other side. So First, definitely, I represent world's #1 air conditioning company from Japan, which I was representing. But second, I was actually representing there the opportunity and responsibility for Daikin in the world's fastest growing economy, India. So I think एक जमाना ऐसा होता था कि 2-2 बजे तक हम वेट करते थे, लोग नहीं आते थे. मुझे याद है अभी भी मैं कुछ बड़े सीनियर लोगों का नाम नहीं लूंगा, बट उस टाइम पे फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरीज वगैरह के साथ हम जाते थे ना, मनमोहन सिंह जी के साथ, वो वेट
अच्छा.
करना पड़ता. अभी CEOs आर वेटिंग फॉर यू टू लिसन टू. So thirdly, I think this is an extraordinary partnership between two great nations, Japan and India, fueled by Honorable Prime Minister for both the countries. His Excellency now Fumio Kishida, Prime Minister of Japan, and Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji. I think it has, as a result of these committed, Daikin has actually continuously been investing from then. Now we have gone and made another investment proposition, which is my third factory, which is coming, Daikin third factory, which is coming in Sri City. This is basically our commitment to PLI scheme towards third factory. This is the largest investment. And this factory, mind you, is going to be bigger than the Shiga and Kanoka factories put together. 6 million compressors, 75-acre land, and factory to be operational in next few months. This was inaugurated by the earlier ambassador, the foundation stone was laid by him. So we are investing on R&D, the committed to make in India, make in Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant. At the same time, our exports are steadily going across now Africa, West Asia, and South America. So it is not only the skill enhancement, it is also bringing equal opportunities to youth, working on environment friendliness. So I can go on and on. The way revolutionary changes Daikin has made with the product of R32 refrigerant, which is environment friendly, winning the highest energy efficient products. So it's a deadly combination, for the 1.5 lakhs Indian youth. We are trying to do this skill development. So our success is boosted by both economic and policy initiative taken by the government of India, and at the same time fully supported by Daikin Japan. At the same time, Daikin India management, I would say, when I say Daikin India management, it's again combination of with Japanese management, So I think it's the committed to make in India, make for India, export to other countries, the same quality, the same kind of products, because you cannot afford to sell poor quality at poor prices. Because,
Exactly. True. Very rightly you said. And thank you so much, sir. Actually, this is, I think, the knowledge you have and the things, the product you are producing there. So this is the third factory you are going to have. I think one interview is not enough, to make, because we have to definitely inspire the youth also of India. So don't go to, now is the time for Japan and India. We have to emphasize there more. So I think we have to inspire youth also more. So I think one interview is not enough. So I will take you more times and I will take, to inspire the entire youth, and India, Japan, both. And we have to have more.
So this time I was not prepared, because although you promised me you will send me a questionnaire. So next time when you start my interview, please send me the questionnaires in advance. Okay.
I will do that, sir.
I can tell you that, my excellence era started in 2010, and we feel that what we have achieved, we have a long way to go and towards absolute dominance. And I'm sure that with the kind of support, with the kind of trust, with the kind of encouragement we are getting from Japanese government, Indian government, Japanese leadership, and Indian leadership, I don't see sky as a limit. It's a limitless opportunity.
Totally. Okay? I can see that. And I'm looking forward to coming to India and visit your factory also.
Yeah, I'll be happy to show it to you, because that's a monument we have created.
Great. Thank you. And thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu and namaste.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Namaskar.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.